Hey everybody, time for another game theory. Also a community discussion, psychological, real life sort of video. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share. Support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Super chat, PayPal, Patreon. Remember, it doesn't hurt to like if you want to like. It really does help the channel. You're not gonna do it, are you? Okay. You know, I was looking at this picture. Someone just posted this picture, and of course, we've been talking shit about 2XKO, rightfully so, of course. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. And when I look at this picture, I don't know if this is Tom or Tony Cannon. I don't know which one it is, but and obviously the screenshot this person took was not the most flattering picture, but it does kind of illustrate a point that video games will kill you. A lot of people that have devoted their lives to video games don't look very healthy. Like, video games just sap the life out of people, seemingly. You know, I was in the hospital again earlier today, and it was funny, actually. The nurse kept walking me around, and she kept stopping and doing something, and I'm like, what is going on? And she was like, okay, I'm sorry. I could not believe that you were actually Clayton Chapman. And I thought that you were somebody pretending to be this person because you look too young and you look too healthy to have this many health problems. Which was, I think that's actually probably the fourth time that's actually happened that I can think of. You know, geez, back in the day, especially, years and years ago, I remember they actually even called the police on me. They thought I was somebody pretending to be Clayton Chapman, that they could not believe it was me. Now, unfortunately, of course, I kill myself trying to be healthy, but it's a struggle. Things aren't good. But I think at some point when I look at pictures like this and you can see like the life, video games have not been kind to Tom or Tony Cannon. I guess whichever one it is, you can see the life has left this guy, it looks like, right? They're struggling. And now they did come up with correct me if I'm wrong, they did come up with the GGPO stuff, right? So they deserve credit for that sort of, technical aspect of games, right? That is, unless they didn't find that. If that wasn't them, then throw that out the window. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, right? If I ever say anything that's incorrect, feel free to put it in the comments. But I've said this many times before that just because you're good at something doesn't mean that you should make the said thing that you like. And I think 2XKO is a perfect example of this, right? We've talked about the nepotism of the game, that it's basically just them hiring their friends to make a game. They're friends that like games, right? Oh, my friend likes a game. Surely they can make a game, right? And I also find it funny that there are people that, there are some guys, they came to my channel, and of course they decided to make fun of me for being sick, which is, okay, all right. I wish only the worst on these people and the creators of this game, for the people that have lied about me. But, I find it funny that people will defend this game and they'll come up with such weird things when even in, again, was it Tom or Tony Cannon, whichever one they were talking about, oh, we didn't know that this game until the past 4 years, what we wanted to do with it, right? And it's like, so what were you doing the earlier 5 years, dude? Imagine if Marvel went to Arc Systems Works and they're like, hey, ArcSys, we want you to make a game for us, right? You're a fighting game developer. We want you to make a game for us. And then 5 years into the development process, Marvel comes to Arc System and they're like, where's the game? And they're like, oh, sorry. Well, we just realized right now, 5 years into it, that I guess we're a fighting game company. So I guess we could make a fighting game about Marvel characters. I mean, really let that sink in. What were they doing for 5 years? They didn't have to make brand new characters. Do you think they had to redesign Jinx They had to redesign Echo. These character designs are already there. They didn't have to have like a new character designer come up with the characters, dude. The characters are already there. It's not even something like, say, Guilty Gear Strive, where they redesigned how the characters look. You can go look at these 2XO characters, unless there's one that it doesn't look the same. I've looked them up. They look exactly the same. They're not fucking different, dude. So we already know your character design is, you didn't need a character design for 5 years. You already have the characters. You know that they hired you to make a fighting game. It took you 5 years to decide what kind of fighting game you want to make. That does not hold up to any scrutiny or any logical thought process, dude. Riot is a $1 billion company, right? Are they not a multi-billion dollar company? And you will see in those comments that they made, well, we didn't know what we wanted to do for the first 4 or 5 years. It's only this past 4 years that we decided we wanted to make a 2 versus 2 game. It took you 5 years to decide you wanted it to be a tag team game? What were you doing for 5 years? And remember how they were shilling themselves as we have the greatest minds in fighting games, right? Working on this game. All these people, they're experts in their field, blah, blah, blah. And now they're starting to come out with stuff. Well, it's our first time ever making a game. It's hard. I thought you guys were jacking yourselves off talking about how amazing you were, which we already know wasn't true because we listened to the interviews and the people even said, well, we don't know what's fun in the game. We don't know if people like zoning. I don't like fireballs, which I've also said, how the fuck are you going to make a game and you don't know what's fun and you decided that you don't think zoning is fun? What? You want to make, I've said this before, you can't have people, how the fuck do you have people in charge of a game that cannot appreciate every different kind of fucking play style, every different kind of archetype of character? I don't like every character that somebody else plays, right? I don't want to play every character in the game, right? But I can still appreciate them, right? I can still understand them. I've said that many times before. That's why I've been able to do more stuff in video games, fighting games specifically, than anyone else in the history of fighting games, because I can appreciate different things. Even if it's not something I necessarily want to play, I can still appreciate it. That's why I said, how many fucking times? I'm like a broken record because I'm never fucking wrong. It's ridiculous, right? I normally, when I make combo videos and tech videos, I normally pick the simple characters, the characters that generally aren't supposed to have combos, right? And isn't it amazing that throughout the history of fighting games, when you see people try to say the stuff that I faked and the stuff that's not real and the stuff that blew people's brains, that changed the perspective on what is even possible in these video games, it's with the simple characters, right? I can appreciate stuff, even though some people think of me only as a tech guy, even though I did win tournaments and everything like this, right? I can appreciate different things. And Dragon Ball FighterZ, just to do it, I'm like, you know what? I'll even play the quotation marks combo characters to show I can do it. Like normally, I don't give a fuck about a character, say like Baby, right? Because you're supposed to be able to do combos with him. It's not thought-provoking. That's not going to change your perspective on a game. Excuse me. If you see a character like Baby doing crazy combos with fireballs, hitting you from the back and the front at the same time, weird fireball setups, you're expecting to see that, right? Now, when I do crazy combos with, say, Hayato, stuff that no one ever done in 20 years of the game, that kind of shit, right? Kai stuff that people to this day still try to recreate, still putting out new stuff that no one's ever done with fucking Ryu. Do you know why people go so crazy about this? Because it's not supposed to work. It changes their perspective on what is possible in the game. And these are people that they've dedicated their lives to it, right? So again, you have to be able to appreciate different things and see things from different angles, right? And so you have a team that hype themselves up as being these great minds of the FGC, the greatest minds there are. Oh my God, Tech Lord's this, these people, they're so amazing. Look at that fucking idiot, Pat the Flip. Well, how the fuck do these people even have a job, right? Pat the Flip writes about games. But is he a big brain person? I can't tell you one fucking goddamn thing that this guy's ever fucking done. Legitimately, in terms of being big brain. Writing about a game does not mean that you should be the producer of a $1 billion company's game. Right? You hired that fat fuck Aaron from St. Louis. That is a dude that what? Jokes for 15, 20 years about leaving me for dead at a tournament and how funny it is when I was dying and jokes about it. What is his, credentials for being able to work on a game? He likes Guilty Gear, so I guess maybe he can make a game. Well, we saw that he fucking can't. Right? Just because you like something doesn't mean you should be in charge of it, let alone a $1 billion company, let alone you can obviously tell it's just people hiring their friends. They put the quarter in their own ass and played themselves with how fucking stupid they sound. Hey, it took us 5 years to decide. I guess we could make a tag team game. Guess it could be a fighting game of League characters, I guess. 5 years to decide that? And it's a tag team game. How many fucking times have I said before? A tag team game should be easier to make crazy characters, to be easier to make different kind of archetypes. Because you know what? You can have one character that has super strong strengths and super weak weaknesses, because then another character can compensate for that. Stuff that could never be possible in a 1v1 game. Although, obviously I talk a lot of good things about Super Turbo, because Super Turbo is a game that has a lot of different contrasting things that are effective even at high level, right? But still, a tag team game, it's easier to have extremely different contrasting characters, right? Because then you can have one character that compensates for your character's weaknesses and vice versa. And you have these people, again, the V, whatever this character is. People are like, well, I can't believe you thought a beat 'em up boxing character would have boxing moves like this other character, like, Monk from DNF Duel or Vanessa from KOF. Okay, I've tried to throw these people a bone. Have I not in the videos? I've said before, it probably is hard to make a truly unique 100% fighting game. But you know what? Do you think it took them 4 years? And this is what, if you're going off, this is what they're implying. It took them then 5 years, whatever it is, to decide they wanted to be a tag team game. And then the past 4 years, the recent character they put out was the V, whatever character. And it's just a copy and paste of old other fucking fighting games that are boxing characters and beat 'em up characters. That took you 4 years. The character design is already there. We already have these fucking moves from other fighting games. Who couldn't do that? Your grandma that's retarded? Copy and pasting something shouldn't take 4 years. And although I know it's hard to truly come up with completely new ideas, I agree. Guess what? You know who has come up with new ideas consistently? Oh yeah, it's me. Guess what? And I don't devote my life to fucking video games, dude. I'm not getting paid by $1 billion company for 10 years to just copy and paste shit. And you know what? Even though these guys that have talked themselves up about being such great minds of the scene and all this kind of stuff, right? Look at a game like Guilty Gear Strive. I talk a lot of shit about Guilty Gear Strive. But you know what? I do put out a lot of videos saying the good new things in games. And guess what? Guilty Gear Strive is a game that has examples of characters that are still new and fresh in putting new spins on classic character archetypes. Are they not? Strive, shitty game. Fundamentally shitty game. Many shitty things about it. But guess what? The characters, there's a lot of neat things about the characters that they come up with. It's not 2XKO taking 10 years when they already have the character design. You don't have to come up with Jinx. Don't even pretend that you came up with Jinx or Echo or any of these characters, because they're already there. And then you copy and paste from other characters these characters, dude. That's not big brain. And then you constantly have other people beta test the game because you don't know what's fun. You can't even beta test your own game. You've been working on it for 10 years with a $1 billion company's money. Do you think maybe it's time to admit that maybe just because you like something, you shouldn't be getting paid to make it? And I also see some people say, well, it's free. The game's going to be free. It's only going to cost money to get all the extra costumes and all this kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. So what have they done? Do you think they're the ones designing new costumes? I'm sure there's old costumes that they probably can go from the treasure chest or these other league, I mean, maybe they will, right? But you know what else is free? Do you know what another thing that's free? Fightcade. Fightcade is free too. Do the people that make Fightcade, do they get paid billions of dollars to make the Fightcade netcode or some shit like that? I don't know. I mean, again, I don't understand why people defend this team, and we've already showed the team is just full of frauds and people that they're not even idea guys on the team. They're people that, like I said, came to help me for help with games before. The intellectuals, I hate to say about Clockwork, but you saw what Clockwork did with the fucking Power Ranger game. It's just a fucking combo game. It's not big brain, dude. Just because you like something doesn't mean you should be in charge of it. And I don't understand how Riot, the people who's looking over their finances and being like, yeah, what was that project that didn't we give some team, like the Cannon Brothers, they called themselves, and we acquisized this Rising Thunder game, and we told them to make a fighting game about it. Did they ever do that? Oh yeah, that was 5 years ago. Did they ever put that out? No, we just got emailed them, and they said they just now decided they wanted it to be a tag team game. So the past 5 years don't count, but now in the next 5 years, they'll finish it. Don't worry. Greatest minds in fighting games, really. Wish somebody would give me money to remake all these fighting games. I can assure you, I don't need 10 years to come up with some new ideas that are just copy and paste from other things while jacking myself off, talking about, it's ridiculous. Then come up with excuses. Oh, well, we're brand new at this. Maybe it's not that you're brand new. Maybe it's just that you're not good at it in the first place. And if you like the videos, like, sub, so the comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.